it's Calxiyn here with Murder of Birds. I
Hey,
hope
guys.
that you guys will enjoy this video. So a couple things before we get started. So if you guys had seen, I originally did this with Hunter, and then my computer exploded, which has its own video if you're interested in, you know, watching me like mentally strangle a computer company.
Yeah.
And then Arnold, you have your own.
I'm her
little
saving
premise.
grace. I'm basically her saving grace at this point. She was already coming to visit me, so I actually had to go out and get a suit.
I know, but like, guys, does he not look hot? Because he looks pretty hot. I mean,
So I
just
got
saying.
the suit and tie, I got the pants, I got all that jazz, and we're here to present to you the Oscars. I do want to say, don't mind the noise in the background. There's construction that's been going on outside of my apartment for the last 3 days. So if you guys hear that from time to time,
They're building a moat. Like,
yeah,
quite literally,
they're like,
is a
they
giant,
literally
like,
carved
8-foot
like,
hole
yeah,
in the street.
they like carved like a chasm in the middle of my street.
We have
so
a little castle, guys. We
yeah.
just gotta get, like, some water and alligator. Like, we're all good.
yeah. So this is some cool little event that she and I put together after RWBY Volume 7. We thought the volume was really well handled and well received overall. A lot of great moments, and it's something that we thought we wish Rooster Teeth would have done something official like this, like on Twitter or on their website or their own survey. So we came up with the categories, we came up with like this entire script and this entire event. We have cue cards, we have like a trophy to present, and we basically went through different parts of our community: Twitter, Discord, YouTube.
I posted it on Reddit. It was surprisingly well received there, so thanks, everyone.
So we've gotten over 7,500 attendees who placed their votes for the different categories that were basically on display for voting during Volume 7, from fight scenes to Grimm, semblances, voice acting, overall characters, and the like. And we have the results. So we're going to be going through all of these individually. We hope you guys like the effort that we put into this.
So I know the answers already because, again, I did do this with Hunter. So I'm going to have Arnold open all the envelopes because it'll be a surprise for him.
Yeah,
and so
I don't know
sort
any
of
of
like,
these.
Your own little reaction, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You get to react to who was the
And then on my
pick.
channel, on my channel around the 5,500 mark, I put out my own video of my votes, so I know which ones I want to individually win, the ones that I voted on, so hopefully this will all come together relatively well. But with all of that said, we hope you guys enjoy.
This is gonna be so much fun. Let's go. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kaylin Carpenter.
And I'm Arnold Delgado.
And today we are bringing you the first annual Ozcars. This is a community-hosted and community-voted event, and we are trying to acknowledge RWBY's work here and RWBY's work on RWBY Volume 7.
Yep, everything from the directors, the writers, animators, riggers, compositors, people who are in the limelight of a volume, and people that you may or may not know of who are, you know, working hard behind the scenes. We're doing the best we can to emphasize their work on the volume this year.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's a testament to their hard work, how hard it was for us to vote.
Yeah.
You know, the quality was just so high that a lot of people were just torn on so many different categories. And because this is our first Oscars, I do sort of want to explain the process. So we had a bunch of nominees in every category, like up to 13, I think some of the categories had. And just to save for time, we have narrowed those down to the top five that you guys voted for. And now we are going to sort of read those names out and then announce the winner.
Yeah, so I'm actually really excited about this too, because I don't know who the winners are for any of them. So You guys are going to be just as excited as we are, so we hope you guys enjoy. The first category is Dress to Impress. RWBY consistently ups the ante when it comes to outfit and design changes every few volumes. From Weiss's off-centered ponytail representing her defiance, to Jean's red sash in his remembrance of Pyrrha. These designs not only bloom with elegance and flair, but also represent growth among the characters as the adventure continues. These are the nominees for Best RWBY Volume 7 Character Design. James Ironwood.
Until now, I believed it was impossible to truly turn the tide against Salem. Oz has pushed her back, has kept victory out of her claws, but she will keep returning, stronger and stronger, unless we destroy her.
Penny Polendina.
Ruby Rose.
Let's make it happen, people.
Salem.
General Ironwood. The brave huntsman and huntress's bested Arthur Watts. Congratulations.
Weiss Shani.
Eating aura projected aura, the cold of Solitas can kill you in a matter of hours.
And the Ozcars goes to... I'm excited for this. Yo, my girl Penny Polendina!
Took me some time, but
I'm as good as new, better even. And now I'm the official protector of this city.
that's my girl. We're not going to let a little ripping to shreds stop us, are we?
No, sir.
I'm actually really excited for that. I think Penny's outfit, like, she's an entire model. It's not even simply just a new outfit. Like, she looks older, longer hair, nice dress. I absolutely love it. I'm so happy that Penny won.
So I think that we can say with certainty that one of the most anticipated parts of any RWBY volume is the soundtrack. Jeff Williams, Alex Abraham, and Casey Lee Williams' reputation precedes them. The entire music team is working hard to make a sort of full version of every one of these songs, but for now we do have the snippets that bring the world and characters of RWBY to life.
Yes, these are the nominees for Best Song.
Fear.
Hero.
I would die without regret.
14, 13.
With zero reservations, I would fly to the sun if that would keep our dream alive.
Trust Love.
Until the End.
Fear of growing close to someone. The subsequent fear of loss. Fear of failure.
Where's Oscar? And the relic?
And as more people depend on you, those fears can take on greater power.
I'll be here until the end.
War.
Never really had a problem with you. All along I thought our friendship was true. I was trusting you right from the start. I never dreamed that you would be my enemy when I said say goodbye. You scared me in the perfect way. Tried to love her more. Takes a follow harder.
And the Oscar goes to... I'll be so upset if this isn't it. Of course! Hero, my boy Caleb Hiles! I'm so excited.
Here to protect you, nothing will stop me. There's no sacrifice that I won't make. Oh, to keep you safe, trust me to be strong. Hero, just hold on.
Aw, dude, this is the song. This is like the hype song that everyone... Like, there's always a hype song for every volume.
Right.
And I honestly think that this is, like, the definitive one. Not only for Caleb Hiles, but the fact that the song was played during a really great fight scene. Really happy about that. Hero is the winner. Fight scenes are the bread and butter of RWBY. From the very first fight in the Red trailer all the way up to Volume 7, fight scenes have improved and evolved to become one of the most intense parts of the viewing experience, from the choreography and environments to sound direction and cinematography.
The animation team, in tandem with the choreographers, work hard to deliver badass, adrenaline-filled battles that leave us on the edge of our seat and have us constantly slowing down each and every frame to see how it all plays out. These are the nominees for Best Fight.
Cinder versus Penny in Winter.
Clover versus Tyrion versus Crow.
Juniper versus Neo.
Team RWBY versus the Aesops.
Watts versus Ironwood. And the Ozcars goes to, I swear to God, I'm like on the edge of my seat. Wow! Wow, really? Oh my goodness, Team RWBY versus the Aesops. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting this fight. I honestly thought it was going to be Watts versus Ironwood because that was I think that was like the fight as a whole, the scene, the music, everything. But this was a great fight too. Team RWBY versus the Aesops. It's like, you know, everyone was kind of like mirror matched, but it was teamwork versus individualized skill. So I'm really surprised. And also the music that was playing during this moment was really hyped too. And I'm very thoroughly surprised. Team RWBY versus the Aesops. If there's one aspect of RWBY that's undergone a creative metamorphosis over the years that is deserving of heavy praise, it is definitely the creatures of Grimm. What began as a basic rank-and-file assortment of recognizable creatures like the Ursa and Beowulf has now blossomed into a world of both reality and mythos, as Grimm ranking from the Wyvern and Sphinx to the likes of the Nuclevi and Apathy. This proves that the crewbie is trying to terrorize the audience as much as they are the characters.
These are the nominees for Best Grimm.
The Sentinel.
That's disgusting.
The Megaliath.
Atlas Manta Team Delta, beginning first run.
The Whale Grimm.
The Saber.
The Teryx.
Hang on!
Can't shake it!
And drum roll, please. And the Oscar goes to... Are you kidding? It was in the last frame of the episode. Monstro the Whale Grimm. I'm not surprised, but I'm kind of surprised, right? Like, I don't think we've ever seen a Grimm like the Whale Grimm, and I'm wondering, like, how effective it's going to be. If it's not just, I hope it's not just her, Salem's personal, like, vehicle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I was a big fan of a lot of the Grimm.
Just how it came out and how much people were sort of like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah,
I
like,
feel
what?
like that,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is that? Like, I feel like that's why it just stuck in people's minds more than any of the other. It's kind of when
Yeah.
the Apathy came out. Like, that was like everyone was so
Yeah,
scared.
yeah,
Right? And so this one is sort of similar.
I
Like,
think-
what is flying through the sky? Like, I feel like that's why.
Yeah, I think Volume 8 will definitely give us a real treat for this Grimm in particular. But yeah, you guys voted. The Whale Grimm is the winner.
Have you ever wanted your very own superpower that could evolve with time and usage? Well, that's too bad, because this is the real world, and we saw an overwhelming amount of semblance in this volume, ranging from offensive, defensive, and utility that was so awesome to see in action. Not only can semblances tell us more about the characters themselves, but they can create a domino effect when it comes to interacting with other characters.
These are the nominees for Best Semblance.
Aura breaking.
Come on, we've got to get you out of here.
Good Fortune.
My semblance is good fortune. Lucky you, huh?
Either take it, or I'm gone. Tell me again, what is Ironwood building out in the tundra?
A new communications tower. He's trying to help everyone.
You're telling the truth.
Palm Pocket?
Stay.
Stay.
I really hope it's like a force field, Kaylin, because the Oscar goes to... Oh, my boy. Hold on, I'm having trouble taking this out. Stay! Oh, wait, hold on. Stay. There you go.
Stay.
Stay! Stay! My boy Marrow Semblance, that shit's so cool, man. Just like freeze you in a fixed area for a predetermined amount of time. I love it. That was like the best semblance that out of the Aesop's, my personal favorite. Very happy that this one turned out. What did you think about it?
I think that Lie Detector is an interesting semblance, but they didn't necessarily go all in. Like, I think that next volume with having to prove Crow's sort of innocence will get a lot of interesting scenes with Lie Detector, but they really set up sort of Marrow Semblance in this case to sort of have these sort of effects like going forward. Does that make sense throughout the entire volume?
Yeah,
Whereas I think with other people's semblances, they're sort of setting them up for next volume.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like Marrow's was very like, we're gonna set this up for the rally. We're gonna set this up for the
initial
fight.
Grimm fights.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he used it against Grimm, he used it against, you know,
the crowd,
the
right?
crowd, and
Yeah,
then he
that's
used it
what I
against
mean.
Team RWBY, so it was kind of like sprinkled throughout the entire volume,
Yeah.
which was really great. So my boy Marrow came in clutch.
Shipping is a large part of every fan community, and RWBY is no exception. RWBY Volume 7 gave us many moments that led to ships being rekindled, invented, cracked, or straight up extinguished. These are the nominees for Best Shipping Scene.
Blake and Yang.
I'm not sure there are many good options left for any of us anymore. Keeping secrets, taking lives, it makes you wonder how far we're going to have to go to keep doing the right thing.
Blake, we did what we had to do.
I know.
Clover and Crow.
You shouldn't do that, you know?
Don't worry, I gave that up.
I meant deflect a compliment. Those kids wouldn't be where they are without you. You've had more of an effect on them than you realize.
Penny and Ruby.
Ruby, I just wanted to say how excited I am to be working with you in a professional capacity. As friends.
Me too, Penny.
Relationships are so interesting and varied.
Ren and Nora.
This is so exciting! It feels like we're an actual Huntsman team! I, like what you did with your outfit, Ren.
We should probably stay focused on the mission.
Oh, okay.
I like your outfit too.
Ruby and Oscar.
Oscar?
You first.
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
didn't, actually.
I just
I
wanted
had the
to
thought
say...
that maybe we should tell Ironwood.
Oh, well, I guess we're on the same page, huh?
Guess so.
Good
luck
luck
down
in
there.
Kids.
And the Oscar goes to... I'm calling this. I'm taking credit for Ren and Nora. It only took them 7 volumes.
Oh.
I made that Ren and Nora in a nutshell video, and then Renora became confirmed the next chapter, which led to their victory. You're welcome, shippers. You're welcome.
Ren, what's going on? Why won't you just talk to me?
You know, I've never been really good with talking.
Then screw talking.
You're welcome.
I'm surprised the Clover and Crow crowd didn't, sort of show up for this one, if that makes sense. I mean, I guess considering how everything went down, I don't know.
I'll say, opposed to that, this is 7 years in the making.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean? Like,
true.
Crow and Clover really kind of established, like, their relationship.
Yeah.
This volume, where,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like at the end of the day, this was gonna beat out everything.
Everyone can recognize that kiss was like it.
Yeah,
you know what I
that
mean?
was
like,
like,
that was it, sis.
together, like, boop, like, there's so many things that just built up to that moment.
That's
So yeah,
true.
Ren and Nora definitely deserve that. That was great. The Aesops came out in fighting force and immediately captured the attention of viewers as early as Chapter 1. We hated them on sight, thought they were working with the enemy, loved them and apologized, only to then hate them all over again when we realized our instincts were right the first time.
Nevertheless, each member brought something charming, fun, and relatable to the table, and it's only fair that we announce who among them is best boy or girl. These are the nominees for Best Aesop.
Clover, Ebby.
Doctor, good to see you. Well, we heard a report of an unauthorized ship making an unauthorized landing, followed by an unauthorized use of weapons by non-licensed huntsmen.
If we could just talk this out.
They'll be able to talk this out once they get up to Atlas. Let's move out.
Elm Adern.
I feel so bad, honestly. If we had known who you were, we'd be laughing over a hot meal right now, and...
I understand. You were just following orders.
I mean, you could have asked us some questions first.
Harriet, Bree.
Thought you said your semblance was like mine.
It is?
I've seen other speed semblances before. That was different. I think there's more going on than you think.
Marrow Ammon.
Some of us are all asset, zero liability. Huh? Yeah? Think I've got some liabilities, Elm?
Your brains, for one.
Oh.
You did ask.
Fine, Zeki.
In trying to save everyone, we left ourselves most vulnerable.
Just back down from a fight!
You can't focus on one single fight while trying to win a war.
And the Oscar for Best Boy or Best Girl of the Aesops goes to... You know it! You love to see it! Marrow Ammon, Best Dog Boy. I love it.
Questions are for the weak. But we're all on the same team now. Not that I'm happy about it.
And Clover, don't take Marrow.
Let me just say really quick, I feel really bad for Vine. I feel like Vine got so shafted this volume. Like, he's got a semblance. Like, out of everyone, his semblance is kind of He's got a weapon on his back that we never got to see, and it's just very unfortunate.
You know what I think the key to victory would have been for Vine is that there was concept art release of his hair, and he looked like a sexy, like, Targaryen elf man. Like, he had the long white hair, like he looked like a Game of Thrones character.
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't
put
know.
that on screen
that
for
may
sure.
that may have changed the tables, but I'm not surprised that Marrow won. I think he was an overall fan favorite.
He's a dog.
That's
and they
true.
had the concept art with him, like the dog ears and stuff like that, and the pony. Like, yeah, Marrow is just overall a great character. I'm glad that he won. His semblance won too. So
I know he's taking
two Oscars home tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, great job, Marrow. Have you ever watched a chapter of RWBY and thought to yourself, God damn, that was a great chapter. Like, I'm gonna have to watch that chapter 2 or 3 more times, and then when I'm done with that, it was so good, I'm gonna then spend my entire day watching reaction videos of seeing other people's reactions on YouTube.
There were so many phenomenal moments during RWBY Volume 7, and it's not hyperbolic to say that some of the best that RWBY has ever had to offer is represented in our nominees tonight.
Damn straight.
And every member of RWBY should be proud of their work that they put into each and every episode, because as fans, we could not be prouder of your efforts. These are the nominees for Best Episode.
Chapter 3, Ace Operatives.
What would you guys do without me?
Chapter 6, A Night Off.
You ready, Tyrion?
Always.
Go.
Chapter 11, Gravity.
But we're nowhere near finished evacuating everyone. You'd be leaving Mantle to die.
Yes, I would. We can't allow Salem to capture the relics. This is our best chance at getting the staff, the lamp, and the maiden as far away from her as possible.
Chapter 12, With Friends Like These.
I trust James with my life. I wanted to trust you.
Doesn't look like your friend's gonna make it.
I'll kill you!
Oh, you mean like you just killed Clover?
Chapter 13, The Enemy of Trust.
The single quality that is common across every living creature on this planet is fear. Will you be proud of that person? Will you forgive them? Will you understand why they felt the need to do the things they did? Will you even recognize them? Or will the person staring back at you be the very thing you should have feared from the start? I suppose we all find out sooner or later.
And the Oscars goes to... Hell yeah! Hell yes! Gravity!
Ironwood's declaring martial law and abandoning Mantle! Salem is coming and he's going to use the staff to move Atlas! If we don't stop him, Mantle's going to be What? No!
I'm sorry it's come to this. But until Atlas and the relics are safe, you are all under arrest.
We won't just let you take us.
I know.
This was such... I honestly think this is the best episode in all of the show. Like, it's very much up there. It's definitely top contender to be like one of the best episodes. The writing, and this was done by Miles and Carey. So I really, really loved how everything was on the up and up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Mantle is, we're working side by side with Mantle. Robin's coming to help us, and then shit goes to shit. Ironwood turns on them. The Aesops become the enemies.
I think this is the best of the best, this episode.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think that this volume soundtrack is so incredibly varied, and I think that is because of the talented guest vocalists that shared their voices alongside Jeff and Casey Williams. In more recent years, guest vocalists have been an exciting addition to the RWBY soundtracks, and with Volume 7, the hype for these songs and these vocalists has never been higher. We love all the new and returning additions, and we welcome you with open arms into the community.
These are the nominees for Best Additional Vocalist.
Adrian Cohen.
Never really had a problem with you.
Aaron Riley.
All along I thought our friendship was true.
Don M. Bennett.
Trusting you right from the start. I never dreamed that you would be my enemy when I had to take my oath. You scored me in the perfect way.
Stay!
Just another moment to follow harder.
Stay!
Find your conscience best of those who need you most. Convince yourself you're noble, but we both.
Caleb Hiles.
7.
Santi C.
Party people gonna stay up late. Oh, and celebrate tonight. Girl, your dancing
more friends means more fun.
And the Oscar goes to my boy, Caleb Hiles with Hero.
About Caleb that is so different from the other vocalists who obviously also did an amazing job on their songs, but Caleb had this collaboration with Casey a couple months ago, and I think that really like made him known to our community first, and he just has range, man. Like if you listen to some of his songs, like he can do the low, he can do the high, like he just has so much vocal range. I love this man much.
He came into it really well, like when Ironwood shoots, like I would die, like so good. I can't wait to hear the full song, not only just to get more information on like Ironwood and because it's from his perspective, but to just see, because like the snippets that they give you are great, but there are so many songs that once you hear the full version, it kind of changes the song overall.
I was thinking about that too, just because they're like Life Is Mine, for example.
Oh
Like
my
we heard
gosh.
part of it, and then like
that song changes up on you like 4 different times.
Like just comes in, right? And so I'm just gonna be so excited to see how all of these songs turn out, like the finished product. I actually really like the Santee C song, and so I knew he wasn't gonna win, but I just really liked it. I just love his bouncy sort of. I mean, I love all the songs.
Another cool thing too is that like, Adrienne, Santee C, and Caleb have all collaborated with Casey in the past. So I think it's cool that like, we have Alex, we have Jeff, we have Casey, we have Lamar, but I really think each one of these vocalists did a phenomenal job, and the soundtrack is more varied. There's so many different like bops and vibes throughout. So I'm a big fan, and Hero won, best song as well. So I think, shout out to Caleb for that.
I think that it's tied together. Like, the song was so great because of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to you, Caleb. When it comes to any character portrayed throughout the RWBY series, one fact is always certain. The voice actors and actresses' main goal is to embody the characters they portray in an attempt to deliver an immersive and engaging experience for the viewer.
With an array of characters ranging from old and sassy to, oh my god, it's a dog, it's always important to remember and acknowledge the passion, charisma, and personalized styles that these performers bring to the table whenever they take up their roles. These are the nominees for Best Actress in a Supporting Role.
Aniris Quinones.
We get along well enough, sure. I count on them to keep me alive. They do the same. But that's a job. We don't confuse the two.
We're playing right into Salem's hands. You know we need to be working together.
Oh, don't give me that crap. I had you kids pegged right from the start.
Caitlin Glass.
I'm sorry I couldn't come down for your party. I'm afraid I'm not feeling well. What are you doing in your father's office?
I think you may have done something wrong.
I thought we all simply assumed that at this point.
Jen Taylor.
Time isn't on your side, James. It's always been on mine. The people of Atlas have suffered enough. Surrender the staff and the lamp to me, and they needn't suffer any further. Simply accept the futility of your situation. And this can all be over.
Lucy Christian.
What's your name? It's Penny, ma'am.
Penny. Are you the one?
Melissa Sternberg.
Stolen straight from our surveillance network.
Ugh, hacking. Technology. Why can't people just do what they used to and fight to the death? A lot simpler if you ask me.
And the Oscar goes to my girl Cortana, Jen Taylor, aka actually Salem, not Cortana. This is RWBY. Oh man.
Your mother said those words to me.
My mother?
She was wrong too.
She's always, she is so great. Like she is a master of her craft. She's been doing it for a while, you know what I mean? Like, I remember that one story that Miles and Carrie would tell where they initially got I almost said Cortana. They initially got Jen to do the narration for Volume 1, and they had her for like 2 hours, but she nailed that entire narration in one take.
Wow.
And like, she was only in the volume for like one major scene, which was the, you know, when she was in the she was in the Seer Grimm.
Yeah.
So I really, really love how she just commands your attention. That's the biggest thing that I love about Salem.
Like that
this
was
volume.
her most, I guess, conversational like part of the volume, because we
Yeah.
did see her at the end and she just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Right? And so I really feel like that scene just had so many emotions. Like, she talks to Ironwood like he's like a child, like in trouble. You know what I mean? Like the look that she has on her face when she talks to him.
Yeah, very motherly.
You know, how she sort of talks to RWBY. Like, all of those lines were just delivered so well. Like, I think she does such a good job. And she sounds so intimidating too without yelling. And I just sort of love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she just has this intimidation factor just like built into her voice, even at a neutral sort of tone.
What I'll say in closing for this is that I just love how when Salem, or when Jen performs for Salem, everyone stops what they're doing, and they listen, and they stop what they're doing, they drop everything, and she commands your attention so much.
Exactly.
So I love the fact that Jen won that. That's phenomenal. And as a follow-up, these are the nominees for Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Chris Wettkamp.
Well, Aesops are handpicked to perfectly complement one another, so we can focus on our assets and leave our liabilities behind.
Dave Fennoy.
Maria! Yes, with the cybernetic optical implants. I adjust them every 10 years or so. Oh, wow! Has it been that long already?
Mick Lauer.
Stay! Get Penny out the back, now! I'm sorry. Is she? This wasn't us, I swear.
Miles Luna.
All right, single file line. Place a hand on the shoulder in front of you, eyes forward, move, move, move! Show them how it's done, kids!
Where did you learn to do that?
Morning school route?
Shannon McCormick.
That power. These memories. You're back, aren't you? You saved me.
Actually, you saved us. Oscar,
Stop. All I want to know is how we save Atlas next.
And the Oscar goes to Chris Wettkamp as Clover Ebby, my boy.
Someone had to take the fall.
James will take the fall. I'll make sure of it.
Good luck.
Yeah, I really loved, like, Clover was a great supporting role overall, but I think it was really delivered for, unfortunately, Clover's one volume stay.
Yeah.
So I really, like, more than anything, I just hope that Chris had, like, a great introduction into the fandom more than anything, because it's always great to get new talent on board.
I hope
and
he
to
had a
become,
good time,
you know what I mean? And it's just like, hey, you're going to be introduced to this new fandom of supportive, supportive people that are most likely going to love your character.
And then you're gonna die.
And then you're going to die. And
yeah.
we hope you enjoyed your time here, but no, I think he did a great job. They also recently did an AMA, so they got to, be more personalized with the characters and their roles.
I really like Clover, but my heart was sort of set on Pietro. I have to admit.
Yeah, Dave Fennoy.
I think that they all did a good job this volume, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And having the return of Ozpin like that, like made things a lot spicy, you know what I mean? I don't think that people were necessarily expecting that, so when he did come back, I was like, ooh, Shannon McCormick, he may take this one.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I was,
it was a very tough sort of category of the supporting roles,
absolutely. Another thing, too, you mentioned for Pietro, Dave Fennoy, this isn't his first roundabout for RWBY.
Yeah, because he did...
Dr. Merlot in the Grimm Eclipse video game, which I think was pretty cool, and that's also who my money was on, but ultimately... you know, Chris's performance was great. I think he sold the character really well. He led it up all the way up until the final good luck. And, you know, we love him for that, so congratulations.
These voice acting veterans gave us some of the best performances of RWBY Volume 7. Some of them are actresses that have played and are reprising their roles, and then some are newly introduced but veteran voice actors for other series. Their performances are a testament to their commitment, dedication, and the old adage of nothing ventured, nothing gained. These are the nominees for Best Voice Actress in a Leading Role.
Christina V.
Clover, I'm so glad you're here. Maybe you can help me understand why this truck that's supposed to be taking construction materials to fix Mantle's outer wall is on its way to the middle of nowhere. Are you lost?
Elizabeth Maxwell.
But yes, Penny, we must still acknowledge our personal feelings. Wrestle with them. It ensures us that we're on the right path. It's what makes us human.
Jessica Negri.
I still can't believe those idiots beat us here. Vacuo was supposed to be the next target. The timeline has changed. You said the farm boy has the lamp? Find him. Take it.
Taylor McNee.
Now that I'm the official protector of Mantle, I don't really have a team anymore. General Ironwood says I don't have time for friends. Oh, how do you feel about that? I feel like I wish I could do both the things I need to do and the things I want to do. Is that normal?
That's about as normal as it gets, Penny.
Lindsay Jones.
How did he...
We don't know. We were in a train crash, and ever since, well, suddenly Oz wasn't there anymore.
It's the worst news yet. Did you learn anything from him about the relics before?
He told us the lamp can answer 3 questions. But all the questions were used up already.
And, drum roll please, the Oscar goes to... Taylor McNee, Penny Paulandina. I am so happy.
I wouldn't say I missed.
Surprise! Did we not start yet?
Apparently, we haven't.
Start what?
I feel like, okay, so quick little like side note fun fact here. We recently discovered that Taylor McNee...
I knew you were gonna say that.
We recently discovered that Taylor McNee has a YouTube channel. It's called Simply Betta, and she has a very passionate hobby interest in collecting betta fish.
Hey guys, I'm Taylor from Simply Betta. I love bettas. They're my hobby, they're one of my passions and my interests. And before this winter hits, which you can see I have a little bit of snow outside, before it gets super cold in my area, I'm bringing in some fish into the fish room, some new fish. So coming up shortly, I'm gonna have a bunch of unboxing videos of new species, of some new fish I'm gonna be working with. So I'm bringing a bunch in before it kind of gets too late to be bringing fish in, just due to the weather, because it gets cold, very cold, very cold. I hate it.
And I lose most of my hours now watching her channel, and it's weird too because I hear Penny, you know, because she's the voice actress, and she did a phenomenal job this volume. Of course, I think Penny overall for this volume has been more relevant than she's ever been before, especially now. She's the Winter Maiden. She had a lot of screen time, both for character development with her in Winter, you know, her and RWBY, and also just having a lot of fight sequences. But I cannot unhear Penny tending to betta fish. So I really want someone to just animate go to her channel, take one of her videos, and animate Penny talking about like
I really
tending
hope
to fish
so.
and
Or
stuff
even
like
just
that.
Art. I want it so
Yeah.
bad.
Oh my gosh. If you guys like, I would love for all of you guys to just check out her channel. It's called Simply Betta. Hopefully we'll put like a link in the description.
Yeah.
But like it's literally just like comfort food for me to watch. I know nothing about fish, but the fact that she's, she did a great job this volume. She won this nomination. I feel like she deserves the plug.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
Fish are friends, not food. And I do think for Penny, like now that she has sort of the Winter Maiden powers and all that stuff, kind of like you were saying, I feel like that her emotional range is really gonna expand. Like she has experienced death. You know what I mean? Like firsthand, like not just like, oh, Pyrrha died in the tournament. All that's Pyrrha died by Cinder. I mean, and all of that considered, like she has experienced death firsthand. The city that she is supposed to protect is being destroyed. Like there are a lot of emotions here, and like she already has range, but I feel like she's gonna have range. Like it's gonna get like really, really intense.
It's like you're not gonna tell if she's a robot or a human at this point.
And I can't wait to sort of see that from her. And I think she did a really good
Congratulations, Taylor. We absolutely loved you this volume. And as a follow-up, these are the nominees for Best Voice Actor in a Leading Role.
Aaron Dismuke.
Well, I can tell you what I think. The path you're heading down, where you're the only one with the answers, where you do the thing you think is right no matter the cost, it's not going to take you anywhere good.
Christopher Sabat.
You know, James, this place has always been a technological marvel. Truly. Even before you went and did all this. The different types of dust, the biome system, and of course, everything that goes into controlling them.
Jason Liebrecht.
That feeling never goes away. Your mom, Summer, would be proud of you. As Dawn, I think. Like you. She was always the best of us. A bit of a brat, though. But hey, I like brats.
Jason Rose.
That's easy for you to say! You can label me whatever you'd like. But the fact of the matter is, I was right! The minute I softened, let my guard down, that's when Salem had her open.
Josh Gurrell.
Robin Hill! For such a little bird, you have quite the impact around here. Bringing hope and a smile wherever you go. I find it upsetting.
And on the flip side, the Oscar for Best Voice Actor in a Leading Role goes to, yes, Jason Rose. Oh my God, James Ironwood, man.
All excellent philosophical points that won't matter if Salem wins.
Listen to me.
No, you listen. I am done letting others' inability to see the big picture get in the way of doing what's right.
I honestly think I'm biased right now for this win because I honestly think Ironwood is my favorite character in the show, period, now. And it's majorly due to Jason's performance. Jason Rose, because there's another Jason in this category. Jason Rose's performance, he took Ironwood to a place I never thought we'd see him in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, from Volume 2 getting his first introductions, he seemed like, he would never go the dark route of sacrificing lives, of turning on anybody and everybody out of fear.
It was such a hard category, but I feel like he so deserved it. Like, there was just so much emotional range in all of these scenes, and him shooting Oscar, crazy.
Oh boy.
Crazy, and even the voice acting there, like, it's general to you. Like,
yeah, my favorite,
I mean,
my favorite delivery from Jason was when Blake was like, "Oh, man, we're not done evacuating Mantle yet. You'd be leaving them to die," and he's like, "Yes, I would." Like, that's just like chilling.
Yeah.
To just hear and to see, like, yeah, I'm willing to do that. And again, I think Jason emphasized and brought that to life in the character really well.
I think my favorite is when he's like, all like excellent philosophical points, or
that
just
won't
how
matter
he said
if
that
Salem
line.
wins.
Like, I just
Yeah.
loved how he.
Yeah, he brought the oomph
so
to the
good.
character, and I just think that there's far more left to be had
I agree.
with Ironwood and seeing just how far they're willing to push that character, maybe over the edge even for Volume 8. So Jason Rose, congratulations, man, you deserve it. Nothing says a brand new volume like some new characters, As if the show doesn't already have a bajillion of them.
But here's the thing. The majority of the new characters this volume felt like they were given ample screen time to breathe and have purpose besides taking up background space.
From the Aesops to the Happy Huntresses to the long-awaited characters like Willow Schnee and Pietro, each brought with them a layer of fan adoration, personality, and plot relevance. And it'll be great to see many more of them during their return to Volume 8.
Except for Clover. He's not returned.
Oh, God. These are the nominees for Best New Character.
Clover Ebby.
But you were on a team before, weren't you?
A long time ago. I just found working alone tends to be for the best.
Well, I think that's a shame. Alpha here. Give me an update.
Marrow Ammon.
Sure. We won't have any problems, as long as you stay within the law.
The law isn't perfect, you know. It's certainly not equal.
Trust me, I'm well aware. That sounds great. And you're planning to do all that equalizing legally, right?
Everything I've done is legal.
Of course. 100%.
Pietro Polendina.
When the general first challenged us to find the next breakthrough in defense technology, most of my colleagues pursued more obvious choices. I was one of the few who believed in looking inward for inspiration.
You wanted a protector with a soul.
I did. And when General Ironwood saw her, he did too.
Robin Hill.
Yep. Still here, everyone. How do a disgraced scientist and disappeared serial killer find each other, General? Why would they target you? And why are you working so hard to hide the Amity Communications Tower from them?
You know.
Willow Schnee.
A man came by. I'm afraid your father may be involved in something more dangerous than he realizes. No matter what happens, Weiss, please don't forget about your brother.
Whitley wants nothing to do with me.
Of course not. You left him alone. With us.
And adding on to the pile of additional characters, the Oscar goes to Robin Hill.
Yes!
I'm the one who believes in all of you. You've proven to me that as individuals, we are strong. But together, we are unstoppable. So no matter what happens tonight, win or lose, we will continue to fight for our city. Because it is this city that brings us together!
Robin Hill, leader of the Happy Huntresses. I think she had, I think up until, because, you know, she got introduced in Chapter 5, so I think a lot of the mystique around her was from Rest in Peace Forrest, who gave a lot of, like, kind of like the initial
OP,
inkling.
we
Yeah, that
like,
as well.
What is she doing? Is she working with Tyrion or against Tyrion? Like, there's a lot of sort of fan
How do you feel
speculation
about
on
Robin Hill in particular? Because I know you're a...
This is great.
I know you're a big fan of her voice actress.
Yes, I think Christina V just does a good, like, such a good job. And I feel like, obviously, there's the voice acting element, but there's also just, like, her character as a whole, right? That she's based off of Robin Hood and sort of, like, her look, too, right? Her crossbow that sort of fans out into
Looks
this
like
bird,
a bird, yeah.
Right? Her exploding, like, how she, you know, put the dart in, like, Tyrion caught it in his mouth and then it exploded. Like, there's just so many things. Her voice acting, obviously, like, I love Christina V so much, especially for Miraculous Ladybug, right? But there are just so many other parts of her character. I also like her nicknames, like Wags and like all that
Wags,
stuff.
5 o'clock shadow,
I think
fisticuffs.
that's just so, like, I just love that. I love everything about her.
I think the best thing about Robin that I love is that she's so, she has a level of conviction for Mantle that almost supersedes like the law, just because like the law isn't always, like she mentioned to Meryl, the law isn't always perfect. And ultimately, you know, over everything that happened in Volume 7, I always think that she never let the safety and well-being of Mantle come second to anything else that was happening. So in terms of Robin as a character, you know what I mean? I also think she's a great fighter for someone who doesn't have an offensive semblance. Her semblance, I think all of the Happy Huntresses have a very utility-based semblance, you know, invisibility, you know, pocket dimension, you know, lie detector and stuff like that. So Overall, like I loved a lot of the action that she was in, her versus Bumblebee, and her, you know, going up against Tyrion with the others.
And, you know, in this category as well, there was Willow. And so when I was sort of looking at the results, I was like, like, I wonder how Willow will do. I do think that her role may be more in the next volume, whereas Robin had such a prominent sort of presence. Like, Willow, I feel like they introduced her just so we knew she was there, alive, all that stuff. You know, and that, you know, next volume with Jacques being in jail and Whitley, like, we'll see a lot more of her in particular.
Yeah, I think
she's been a long-awaited one. That's why I was sort of
I was just about to say that. I think similar to how, like, Renora was 7 years in the making, and it's obvious that that was going to win. I think the reverse was with Willow, where, you know, obviously from the first episode, Weiss, it's like, okay, she has a mother and a father. We only hear about her father. And up until Volume 4, I thought maybe her mom had passed because we had never heard anything about her. And then we get the first mentions of her mom in Volume 4, but then it's like, you have to wait another 3 volumes before you actually see her. So I feel like, you know, it could have been too little too late for her in terms of this category. But overall, I think all of the nominees were perfect fit. But you know, congratulations to Robin Hill.
Robin, like, took that shit.
Can we leave that in?
If you want. Cunning and ruthless, RWBY's female antagonists hid in the shadows this volume until they pulled the rug from under us and our beloved characters. Be it their meticulous approach, combat finesse, or partial victory, you can't deny the impact made by each and every one of them that kept the volume entertaining until the very end.
These are the nominees for Best Female Antagonist.
Cinderfall.
You Atlas elites are all the same! You think hoarding power means you'll have it forever, but it just makes the rest of us hungrier! And I refuse to starve.
Neapolitan.
Oscar! Stop!
Salem.
And the Oscars goes to Best Ice Cream Girl Neapolitan. Let's go.
Huh. You're back early. Tell me you found what we've been looking for.
Nice.
I'm really happy that Neo won this.
Yeah?
Let me just say, like, I think that she did it this volume, you know?
Yeah,
what
I mean, she got the
like,
dub.
She infiltrated.
Yeah.
All right, why do you keep calling it that? The dub?
The dub, like
what does that mean?
like in video games, a dub means like a win.
Okay.
Yeah, so like she got the dub, so she got the win for the villains.
I was clarify that for the audience.
Yeah. So that was a gamer moment right there, ladies and gentlemen.
And so, you know, she infiltrated by being the waitress, and then obviously like going after Oscar.
Yep.
Right. All of that stuff. But I think that I loved the fight at the like that was the pinnacle of Neo, and I think that the best moment of her was when she transformed into Nora and made that face to red. Oh my god, like it was just all so good, and just how she fights and her movement and how she smirks and how she's like Jean, you're coming at me, like how, like whatever will I do? Like I love Neo so much.
She puts on a show, you know. She's a show woman, if you will. She speaks through her actions. I think that's like her strongest suit at this point. She's the one character that, like, you know, she doesn't, you know, she lets her actions do the talking, essentially, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't talk. But yeah, I'm honestly like really surprised, like not surprised that like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she won, but like she ultimately was the reason why the villains had to win to an extent, you know what I mean? Like Cinder failed again. Salem was on her way, so it was up to Neo to kind of, you know, pull the wool over Oscar's eyes. Another thing that I do like about the transformation part was that I think she turned into Nora because of that previous interaction where she was, you know, pretending to be Oscar, and she saw how friendly Nora was towards Oscar. So she was like, I can turn this into like a reversal and turn into Nora and then go after Oscar. So I do like how that came to
Yeah, there were a couple
pass.
times like she turned into Nora and like Oscar went up to her, and then she turned into Nora when Ren was like fighting. So there were a couple times where she like pulled that.
I was honestly, I mentioned this in the discussion too, but I was expecting her to turn into Pyrrha.
Yeah.
I think that would.
I don't think that is out of the cards yet, sis.
You know,
I think that is well within our, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We still have Volume 8, but it was more of a focus on Ren coming at her, right? If it was Jean, it probably would have been Pyrrha. And so maybe if Jean like stepped
Jean
it up
was
next
the first
time,
one that she like came in contact with, and for Oscar, it wouldn't have been like, he would have just been like, oh, that's some random lady. You know what I mean? And because she was at the Vital Festival tournament, I could see some cross-pollination with her figuring out, you know, the competition.
Who Pyrrha is,
yeah,
right?
everyone to an extent
I was
should
surprised
know.
when people were like, why would she turn into Pyrrha? She doesn't know Pyrrha. And I'm just like,
Who doesn't know who's on the box of every Pumpkin Pete's Marshmallow Flakes?
But yeah, I think that, you know, Cinder did a great job this volume, especially her voice acting more for me. Like, I feel like that we got so much range out of Cinder's character. This has renewed interest in her character for a lot of people, but Neil, like, took that shit home.
And in terms of Salem, I think Salem's, like, the stage was set for next volume. So Salem will definitely have the potential for that next volume, but gotta give it up to Ice Cream Girl. Not to be outdone, the male antagonists were some of the best portrayals of divide and conquer this series has seen to date. Watching the three-part act unfold between Watts, Tyrion, and the incredibly developed Ironwood made for some of the most compelling antagonistic moments of the series. We were left speechless with their antics, and as a result, we gotta put respect on their names. These are the nominees for Best Male Antagonist.
James Ironwood.
When Salem hit Beacon, beamed with all my ships, all of my soldiers, I was no match for her. I've never felt so helpless. The way she told me she was there.
Tyrion Callows.
What are you doing? The will of our goddess!
Arthur Watts.
Our tin soldier's heart has cost him his mind. You need to keep their attention on Mantle for as long as possible.
You want more chaos than a Grimm invasion.
If anyone on Remnant could deliver that, wouldn't it be you?
And boy, put respect on their name because the Oscar goes to Tyrion Callows!
Ah, here they come. Right on time. Oh, looks like our score will have to wait. You know my track record with the authorities.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I honestly don't know who my favorite villain is. Like,
It's
Tyrion,
so hard.
Tyrion, like, I thought it was gonna be Watts the entire volume because it's like, man's lurking in the shadows. 6 episodes in, no one knows who he is. Like, no one knows he exists. And then Tyrion came through, you know what I mean? Like, he caused the stir up during the rally. And then he had that 3v1 in the alleyway, and I thought he was done there. I was like, okay, this man's done. It was cool while it lasted. But then he came through for the 3-peat, right? 3v1, 2v1, backstab. I'm back in the game. He's out there at large.
And wearing the pilot's hat, like, who could forget? You know, how could he not have won? I'm so serious.
Oh, man.
Like,
yeah,
Tyrion
the
is
will
just
of the
such
goddess.
a fun character. And, like, Hunter and I made a video a couple volumes ago when we were like, Tyrion's fucking annoying. Okay, like, just, you know, I don't remember why exactly. It was one of his interactions with Emerald and Mercury that I was like, you know what? They're doing this a little too hard. Like, they're going a little too hard with this. I don't like it. But I feel like that this volume, the writing for all of the characters has been elevated, and Tyrion was really, really enjoyable.
I also think, like, the setting for, like, that moment for Tyrion back then was played on a little too thick because it's like,
that's what I
there's
mean.
not a lot of tension going on. There's not a lot of, like, ridiculous, like, you know what I mean? Like, the stakes aren't raised that much between volumes 4 to, you know, volumes 4 and, you know, into volume 5. So I'm just like, you know, now
Laying
with
it on
everything,
thick is, like, the perfect way to do
but now it's kind of like, this is Tyrion's playground. He gets to have his fun. He gets to, and, like, shout out to Josh Garrell as well. You know what I mean? Like, Tyrion has had a lot more vocal, vocal efforts this volume, and just a lot of time to just kind of say his piece and just be a spectacle whenever he's on the screen. And I absolutely love the fact that he's the winner of Best Antagonist. I'm so happy. These supporting characters were integral to the development of our leads. It was truly a joy to watch them grow over these last 13 chapters, and we loved them this volume.
While not necessarily the stars of the show, Volume 7 saw a healthy balance of supporting characters which helped to carry the focus of the plot just as much as the main cast.
Yes.
They were the ones who gave depth and complexity to the main characters' development and worked to enhance or contribute to their experiences. And it is for that reason that they deserve a bit of spotlight. These are the nominees for Best Supporting Female Characters.
Fiona time.
I know that, like me, you're all thrilled that we chose Robin as our voice in Atlas. No one has fought harder for Mantle than she has, and I know Robin will continue that fight on the council. Will you share a few words?
Freya.
Yes. I've been waiting here for some time, I think. What was I waiting for? Me. No. I had a job to do.
Maria Calavera.
I know. I age like a fine wine. Would have been here sooner if I hadn't run into these jokers. At the time, I thought they might need my guidance while fighting a little old sphinx.
Oh, did they?
No. They had much more complicated issues.
Nora Valkyrie.
They're bearing all of it! The longer this waiting game goes on, the harder each day gets for people down there. And now you want to send in more soldiers? You can't force people to fall in line. If you do that, you'll just be trading all of these problems for the Grimm.
Willow Schnee.
He started locking his home computer. But he still has blind spots.
You put a camera in here?
I put them in every room of this house. For our safety, in case I ever need it.
And the Oscar goes to Nora Valkyrie.
Finally, someone said it. Let's kill some cake, huh? Because I can eat 2 slices before Ren even eats 1. Who says I can't? Who says it, huh?
Nora, nobody is arguing with you about this.
Great supporting role, supporting line for Ren. Especially the
also
main...
for Ironwood, right?
Yeah,
like if you really think about it, you know, Nora sort of like pushing for, you know, working with Robin and like helping the people of Mantle and sort of her confrontation with Ironwood. Like I feel like she was a great supporting character for Ironwood as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well because that scene in particular kind of gives you a little bit. You can empathize with Nora because she came from nothing. You know what I mean? At the very least, from when we were introduced to her back in Volume 4. So for her to empathize and sympathize with the people of Mantle, seeing how, you know, the rough patches that they're going through, made a lot of sense for her to kind of lash out at Ironwood that way. And for also Ren, the fact of the kiss between them two. I want to say like the bumpy road that they went through this volume, constantly being butting heads with each other. You know, Ren kind of becoming like the yes man of Ironwood, being like, yes, sir. And then even at the end when the relic was lost, I think all of that really played into Nora having a big supporting role both for Ironwood and for Ren. And as a continuation, these are the nominees for Best Supporting Male Role.
Clover Ebby.
As a potential councilwoman, you should probably focus on the election instead of harassing huntsmen. Now, it's time to let us pass.
I think you've misjudged the situation. One way or another, these supplies are going to get where they're supposed to go. Mantle.
Then I suggest you do that through the proper legal channels as a councilwoman, if you get elected.
Jean Arc.
You guys were incredible! Oh, the way you took down that Geist without needing to plan your tactics out, you just knew exactly what to do!
Marrow Ammon.
Yeah, real cute. Look, try not to be too much of a distraction. We need to be vigilant in case...
In case what?
In case someone tries to start trouble.
Oh, funny. That's why we're here. So feel free to take a hike.
Listen, the General's trying to help, all right? Just because you can't understand.
What's going on here, Wax?
Professor Ozpin.
The single quality that is common across every living creature on this planet is fear.
Pietro Polendina.
Much to my surprise, the Penny Project was chosen over all the other proposals.
Why would you be surprised? You created an artificial aura.
Not quite.
You gave her part of yours?
Yes. And each time I rebuild Penny, it takes a little more.
And bringing it home here, the Oscar goes to Mr. Lucky Lucky himself, Clover Ebby.
Robin needs help. Surrender, and we can take her to Atlas. Get her patched up.
Never pegged you for the manipulative type, but I've learned a lot of things tonight.
I enjoyed working with you, you know. Even with that endless cynicism of yours.
I'm usually proven right.
We don't have to fight, friend.
Nice, nice, nice. I'm glad to see he won too. That's really great.
I feel like in some cases, you know, the voice actor award and this one does line up with the character just because the voice acting like really like helped to take it there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like a lot of Clover's voice lines are in supporting Crow's as a lead role. Does that make sense? And so I feel like that's why these two are particularly very connected.
I also think as a supporting role itself, Clover was that for a character. He was that for Crow. He was being very encouraging, very uplifting, telling him not to dodge compliments and to just be, you know, the best version of himself and to realize that he makes an impact in other people's lives. And I think ultimately that was the biggest level of support that Crow needed up until his passing.
And the other Aesops were also supporting, but I feel like he also supported their downfall, if that makes sense, because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't there during the fight, and they kind of needed their leader, right? And so I feel like that's sort of interesting as well, that he was also sort of, you know, when you think
He's
about
the glue
it,
that kept them together.
There was Clover, and then there was the Aesops, and then there are characters like Crow. Like, it's hard because sometimes there's characters in between. Like, Nora is sort of an in-betweeny one as well.
Yeah. So
right, but,
I definitely agree. He's the glue that kept them together. And as he said in Chapter 3, what would you guys do without me?
Nothing.
Well, they're about to find out now. Shout out to Clover Ebby. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the final award of the show. RWBY would not be the same without their leading characters, and Volume 7 went above and beyond in giving a plethora of characters the spotlight to tell their story, make their impact, and leave their mark on the series in a way that will continue to be discussed, analyzed, and theorized for years to come. The characterizations of these leads this volume will not be easily forgotten.
These are the nominees for Best Leading Female Character.
Neapolitan.
No!
This crazy girl showed up and attacked me, but she looked like someone else.
Neapolitan.
You know her?
We haven't exactly heard good things.
Penny Polendina.
I thought you sounded fine. You were just speaking from your heart.
And that is precisely the problem. I should have just stayed in line.
I guess you're right. I don't understand.
Ruby Rose.
I'm trying to do what I think is best, but I really can't tell if what's best is what's right. Or if I'm no different from Oz.
RWBY, Oz only trusted himself with the whole truth. You're trusting others, but you're making sure they prove themselves first. I think that's a pretty big difference.
I hope so. This says I'm a huntress now. But I don't feel like I know much more than I did at Beacon.
Weiss-Schnee.
Weiss.
Jacques Schnee, you're under arrest. Can I do that?
Winter Schnee.
The more I thought about it, the more I saw it as a privilege. A chance to do some real good for Atlas. For Remnant.
But your destiny was chosen for you, without your input.
Perhaps. But I'm choosing it now. I've made it my own. and I take great pride in it.
And for the best lead female character, the Oscar goes to your girl, Penny Polendina.
The General is leaving Mantle to perish?
He's saving Remnant. We can't let the relics fall to Salem.
But all those people we just protected, they won't survive.
We don't have time to—
That doesn't bother you? What about your sister? Our friends? I do not see what is good about any of this.
Absolutely well-deserved. Yeah. Like I said, Penny has been far more relevant this volume than she has ever been in the show, volumes 1, 2, and 3. She has plot relevance being the Maiden. She has immense development and characterizations with her interactions with RWBY, with her interactions with Winter, kind of blurring the line at this point between robot and human, and kind of having a lot of that emotional baggage going into volume 8, and kind of seeing the fate of her. We got her backstory, you know, her fate tethered to her father. I'm a big fan of this decision.
I think that especially next volume things are gonna get crazy because they sort of set up, like, you know, her relationship with Winter, and they have this interesting sort of sisterly relationship almost.
Yeah.
And then also you obviously have the winner of our other category, the whale Grimm, right? And that's obviously a reference to Monstro the whale from Pinocchio. And, you know, in Pinocchio, what basically happens is that the father gets, like, sucked into the whale, and they're all in the same airship, and so it's sort of like, are y'all all gonna get swallowed, and then you all have to get out? I'm really looking forward to all that, and, you know, just where Penny is going, like, as a character.
I personally am wondering how she's going to harness her maiden powers, you know what I mean? Because she's literally fresh off the boat, like, maiden powers, like, how are you gonna harness this? And I really don't think that things are going to... I think the villains are really going to kind of push for this victory because everything is within proximity of each other. Ironwood can't go into space. Penny is the maiden that's tethered to the vault for the staff. And I feel like that has to be concluded before we can move to Vacuo or anywhere else. So
and I also feel like with Penny specifically, what's going to be interesting is just how other characters treat her now. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like there's a lot of, you know, Cinder saying, like, I can't believe I'm not gonna lose to some toy. And, you know, like, oh, like, Penny is already a robot, and we talked about that in our analysis on this channel. Like, Penny's already a robot. You could, like, customize Penny so she's the strongest thing in the entire world, and Cinder is someone, you know, she's jealous of people with natural talents, and there's a lot of, like, how fucking dare you, as a robot, you get the maiden powers and not me. Like, you don't need them, I need them. There's a lot of sort of that in there, and I feel like that's also gonna be a super interesting dynamic of, like, you're just, you know, you're just a robot, you don't deserve it, I do, and all that stuff with Cinder.
So I'm a big fan of Penny. I think she has a lot more growth and a lot more to prove and a lot more to show.
I'm so glad she came back now, seeing how it happened. Like, I feel like people weren't sure at first, but now that we see the result, it's like, yes.
I think it's a far more impactful return to form for her, instead of it simply being, we brought her back for the sake of fan service. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people, rightfully so, you know what I mean? The first episode, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what the other 12 chapters are going to deliver on. But I think it's still wise to be, you know, to give the benefit of the doubt and to at least see how things play out before you come to the conclusion of, was it a good decision or a bad decision bringing Penny back?
It was really
good. Also, we get Taylor McNee again, so I'm really happy to see. And I'm also really nervous because, like you said, like, Penny's fate is now tethered to so many different things. Like, her survivability is based on if Pietro lives. Her survivability is based on the mate. You know what I mean? Like, as long as she's able to open the vault, I think that is like the thing that can keep her around, like with Raven. But again, like we explained, very well deserving of Penny, and very happy to see that she took this one home. And as a follow-up, these are the nominees for Best Leading Male Character.
Arthur Watts.
That is what I wanted people to think, you're right. However, I've heard things about you too, Jacques. Namely, that you have an Ironwood problem.
That bastard is costing me more money every day with this embargo. I'd lay off every employee in Mantle if I wasn't trying to get their damn votes for this council seat.
What if I said you could have your cake and eat it too?
James Ironwood.
I am done letting others' inability to see the big picture get in the way of doing what's right. Robin, the council, this kingdom, even you.
And you're as dangerous as she is, James.
James, it's what my friends call me. To you, it's General.
Oscar Pine.
If you abandon Mantle, you abandon our best chance of reuniting the world. You abandon Remnant, leaving millions to fend for themselves so a few can survive. What kind
All
of—
excellent philosophical points that won't matter if Salem wins.
Listen to me!
No, you listen.
Crow Bronwyn.
There were a lot of those back in our day. But this one was a summer secret. When she didn't come back, Ospen seemed just as in the dark as myself and your father. Still, who knows what he may have hidden from us over the years.
Tyrion Callows. Are you ready?
Oh,
are you ready?
My heart is literally pounding. Like, there's gonna be riots in the street. There's gonna be people like harassing us on social media. This is rigged.
We didn't do it. They did.
We have the evidence. We have the statistics. We have the numbers to support and back this up. Okay. The Oscar for Best Leading Male Character goes to, drum roll, please. Yeah! Oh, he won! James Ironwood!
That's just about all the pomp I have in me. If you'll excuse me, I have to get back to running this operation. Well then, enjoy the cake.
Your speech outros are improving, sir.
If this was anybody else, I would have just walked out. I would have just been like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. This is rigged. Have fun next year. He deserves it. Like, he
so deserves
best character. Like, Ironwood put Volume 7 on his fucking back and just dragged it through like the freaking tundra.
Oh.
You're right. Not to say that any of the characters were bad. It's just Ironwood. Go back and watch Volume 2. Go back and watch Volume 2 Ironwood and just see that character. And just like
think of where we
just
are now.
think of where we are now. Just see like the night and day, and it's not over yet. Ironwood, he's my favorite character. He's my favorite character in RWBY. Sorry, Weiss. You know, I think I have a thing for Elysians because it's like it's Ironwood, it's Weiss, Winter's also in there somewhere, Penny's also in there somewhere. So I might have a bias towards Elysians. But no, like Ironwood definitely deserves it more than anything.
I definitely think that no RWBY character has ever had quite an arc as Ironwood has. Like Weiss, kind of. Like Weiss has had a big change.
I love it.
But she had a big change in a long amount of time. It was like a slow burn almost for her to change. But with Ironwood, it happened so quickly, but also so naturally as things just kept falling and falling and falling apart.
There's so many, like, I think a big compliment to this change to this character, like this massive character, like flip for him, is that everything was laid out for us in previous volumes.
Yeah.
Volume 2, Ozpin's like, why are you bringing half of your military halfway across the continent? He's like, well, you know, panic is what brought them here. You know what I mean? Like, he's always been very, like, everything that he's done has been on the foundations of fear, paranoia, panic, and wanting to do what's best. And
for a minute there, he was, you know,
yeah,
even Watts
it was very
this, right?
back and forth.
Watts is
too.
like, oh, you know, the Tin Man has like lost his, like Ironwood has lost his
you know,
his mind and went with his heart, like all of that sort of stuff, right? Like he sort of abandoned logic for a minute, and like look how that turned out for him. So you know, all of those sort of things. It was very back and forth to him trusting and then him not trusting, right? And all that stuff. Him trusting his heart, but then him going back to just pure logic and pure numbers, because that's what his plan is. You know, abandoning the people of Mantle is a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
Like, would you want one person to die or 6? That's sort of how he's measuring.
It's like
right?
you kill one, you save 1,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I am so incredibly impressed with where they're taking Ironwood. I think this is like for the best, and I think this is also going to be part of, in my opinion, what I think it is, like the fall of like Ironwood's current generation of like protectors, right?
Yeah.
Like Ozpin died at Beacon, Lionheart died at Haven, and I honestly think that things could reach a fever pitch moment.
And even Crow, right? Like Crow isn't a headmaster, but like he's also had those
He's the right hand man in my opinion.
He's had those sort of like flags, if that makes sense. Like there's an Ironwood like fall from grace flag, and definitely like a situation with Crow where he also may be in some troubles. And so I feel like that's interesting, especially because the last headmaster from Vacuo, we know that he hasn't been in contact with Ozpin for years. He just went fucking rogue and was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, even though he's still sending students to the Vital Festival, I guess. But yeah, like I just think that that's so interesting to see them just get picked off like one by one.
Yeah,
and I hope
the
Winter
thing too,
is the headmaster though. If Ironwood dies, I hope Winter will take over the school.
I do think at the very end of the day, I think it's very tragic where Ironwood is, because it's of his own, like it's all in his head.
Yeah.
It's like he's his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And like he's not willing to listen to like what other people are considering, you know what I mean? Because I remember Volume 6, even Tyrion mentioned, he was like, oh, if General Ironwood comes to his senses and recruits aid from Vacuo, and RWBY was kind of like, hey, if we get this connection going up, we can even call for help. Like that was the right call to make, because that's what the villains didn't want to happen.
Right.
And so objectively, I think like him being so in his head and like jumping to conclusions about it, because everything was a coincidence. That's what I love about it. Like everything was a coincidence. Cinder and Neo coming into the picture was a coincidence. Like none of that was calculated.
And he was like, Hazel is here too. And
Hazel's
just
here too.
at home. He just like, he has his feet up on the sofa. They ordered a pizza. Like Hazel's nowhere near.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's just the domino effect. And I absolutely love, and I know we didn't really get to talk about this and we had other categories in mind after the fact, but like one of the best moments of this volume was Ozpin's monologue of fear and what that can do to you and what that can turn you into, and then that was doubled over with the song Fear at the end of the episode, and I think that perfectly encapsulated Ironwood for me, and why, like, because I'm a big fan of psychological thriller. That is my favorite aspect of shows and anime and movies, and especially when it comes to character development and growth. And like, I'm very fascinated, and I'm very invested in Ironwood as a character more than ever. And I never thought I would have said that going into this chapter 1. I would have never thought by the end of it Ironwood would be my favorite character, but they did him absolute justice. And I think this volume was great overall. Again, shout out to the writers, shout out to the animators, the compositors, the riggers, everybody who played a vital role in putting the show together.
And it's
you know what I mean?
awesome now to see, like, at the time of recording, people are putting their camera work, their lighting work, their storyboard work. And, I think it was Melanie Stern or somebody who had said this on Twitter, but it's like, so much of the attention is sort of like RWBY, the animators, but it's not just the animators. You have people doing the lighting, you have people doing sort of like I said, the camera work, the mocap suits, like all of these sort of different positions that don't really get the attention, special effects, like sound editing. There's just so many, positions that sort of put everything together that we don't even realize,
Yeah. So I for one think that this volume was great. I think Eddie and Kiersey were a breath of fresh air this volume and deserved like some proper attention, because Miles even mentioned it, that this volume was hard to write and they don't know how well they would have done if it wasn't for them two, and they contributed to a lot of great things. Thirsty Moms, who could forget. We definitely have some new categories that if we continue this with volume 8, there are going to be some additional categories that we're definitely gonna follow up with and include. So this next year's will be a lot more robust than this one, even though this one seemed like probably is going on for God knows how long at this point.
I think best meme and like best
meme,
like,
best shocking moment,
one,
best meme. And just independent like community things like the memes, like you said. But overall, first off, this was really fun to do.
It was fun. I'm so glad
this was really
that we
fun
were able
to
do this. I know like my computer broke and like I was like freaking out.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes everything happens for a reason, right? I hope that my computer didn't have to break if this was the reason, but at the same time, it's like I just really enjoyed doing this. I think this was so good.
We ultimately just had a lot of fun doing this. At first, it was just like, hey, let's make the poll, and then it evolved into, hey, let's record this, and then let's actually kind of make it like,
let's steal one of my sister's trophies from her dance competition,
Yeah, like this was kind of just a fun little thing that we wanted to do for the community, because it's something that I feel this volume it was just such a great volume overall, and we wanted it to kind of be in the public like discussion, especially with the volume being done. And you know, it's another thing that people in the community can look forward to during the dry season, because we're not going to get any news and information until at least the summer for RTX and stuff like that. And I know that there are a lot of people that are just as eager as I am to figure out who won certain categories. We had over 7,500 attendees, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's no small number, that's nothing to scoff at, especially with and again, I think that's a testament to how good the volume was overall. So I love the volume. I'm really happy with a lot of these nominees. I hope you guys are too, because you voted for them.
Yes.
So if you don't like it,
happy, it's your fault. Again, just thank you to everyone who voted. Thanks to everyone who has been patient with my computer issues. Like, this was supposed to be out Valentine's Day, and clearly it was not, right? So there was that. Thank you to people who wanted to react to it. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, Dan
Hopefully
and
they
Bree.
still do it, but like, there were a couple people that are like, I want to do a reaction to the results, and I'm just here like, that's crazy.
Yeah, we won't sue you, unlike maybe unlike a different award ceremony. You know, not putting any names out there. These are the Ozcars, by the way. Just
with
saying.
a Z, all
just
right?
just throwing that out there. Also, shout out to puns. Puns are fun. But that's everything. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, please leave your thoughts in the comments, what you guys thought about the nominees, what you guys independently voted for, and everything else in between. It was an incredibly fun experience to do. I hope we get to continue doing it for as long as RWBY is going on,
so,
which
yeah.
that means we're in debt. We're stuck in this. We
Yep.
can't get out of it.
I know. Let's get again. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to comment down below about what you think of the nominees. If you do think that anyone was snubbed, if you think it was well deserved.
Also, we miss you,
whatever
Forrest.
You think. All of that sort of stuff. I have a Patreon. Give to my Patreon, not Arnold's. What else am I trying to say? Subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Social media, you know it.
Yeah.
I know it. You know what to do. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Bye.